host Sunny Hostin is facing backlash after newly released video shows her seemingly trying to convince a police officer to let her son off easy. It happened in New Rochelle, New York last month after police stopped 23-year-old Gabriel Hostin for allegedly trespassing. Watch.
How you doing?
He was walking along the tracks.
Just on a run, on a walk, and the gate was open.
He's on the phone with me. Actually. I'm a former federal prosecutor.
Yeah.
He knows. He's a Harvard grad who teaches fourth grade geometry to his kids.
God bless.
He's not a kid who's ever in trouble. It's an innocent mistake. I understand you have to give him a violation.
All right, now Gabriel was issued a summons and released. He's due in court next week, but critics are slamming his mom for repeatedly reminding officers about her legal background. Critics also say that she's a hypocrite after spending years insisting that everyone should be treated equally under the law.
I think no one is above the law.
Yes.
He committed a crime, and now he will pay the consequences. We always say that we want everyone to be treated across the legal spectrum in the same way, and that we want the law to apply equally in the same way.
There seems to be two systems of justice at play in this country, and there have been for a very long time.
Now, we've reached out to both Sunny and Gabriel Hostin. We have yet to receive a response. Jason, at first blush, your thoughts?
Oh, come on, this is an easy one. Look, above the law, most people don't have mommy who's on television and reminded that she's on television come in and say, oh, my son, you know, he's a Harvard grad. Well, she's really making the case that he is smart enough to figure out what no trespassing says.
Right.
He teaches fourth grade. He's teaching kids. What example does that have? Look, I think the police did the appropriate thing. They were calm, cool, collective. They issued a summons for trespassing, get a little slap on the wrist, and it really will be up to him if he does this stupid antic again. But it's embarrassing for her, shows her for the hypocrite that I think she is. And
Harris, you were saying that what we saw wasn't all of it. There was more.
Well, you have to listen to the call, like, from start to end, because it's body cam, but it's a call. This is a quote from some of the reporting on it. My name is Sunny Hostin. I'm one of the co-hosts of The View. I mean, so just in case these gentlemen, you know, because they're working, they're probably not watching daytime television at 11 a.m. Eastern when that airs. And I'm former federal prosecutor. She goes on to say, and we were just talking about this, but she goes in detail and says this several times. That's my son. Like, okay, first of all, you just had to tell those gentlemen who the heck you are, because maybe they didn't know. Maybe they've got a different view. He's a Harvard graduate. He doesn't have a criminal record. So she's laying out a case before them to keep them. And she's like, do you have to put handcuffs on him? Well, that's kind of how this works. Like, your son committed a crime. And she said, he's not a kid who's ever been in trouble. It's an innocent mistake. What is the mistake that she's talking about that she thinks she knows? Because she wasn't there when they picked him up. I mean, there's a whole lot here. Look, sometimes you learn the hard way that the best thing to do is to hire the professional when this is going on and get that person to defend your kid. Because if you become someone who throws out extra information, you're the lawyer. How tough does it get?
Kaylee, I admit that when I first saw that short clip, I thought I had nothing wrong. I felt, yeah, she's a mom. She's going to advocate for her son. And it felt that the point she was making was, look, this is a good kid, and, you know, the sort of expressing this was an honest mistake, as you heard. But then I read the whole transcript and heard the whole thing, and I would be mortified if I was pulled over, which I have been, at announcing what I do for a living.
Yeah.
I would, oh my gosh, you could not drag that information from me, in my opinion, because it's cheap and it sells an employer short, and it's just a lot of things. So I felt like if she had just stuck to that point, hey guys, my name's Sunny, I was a prosecutor, I raised a good kid, I didn't even feel like she was making that point to say, I'm a prosecutor, so watch out. It seemed to me she said right after that, so he knows better, right? And I think every mom will advocate for their son, but it got a lot bigger than that.
See, I think I would advocate for my child in any way that I could. Honestly, I think if you're a factory worker or a television host, or you are going to pull out all the stops, I would be petrified if my child was in this situation. So I would say he's a graduate. He doesn't have a criminal record. I would do all of those things. And according to TMZ, they received a letter that showed, according to her side of the story, his side of the story. I don't know if this is true. It's a TMZ letter that they have. It was a gravel path that was upward. He thought it looked like a path you could run on. The gate was apparently open. The sign was off to the left side where you could barely see it. I probably wouldn't see a no trespassing sign, too. I don't notice many things. I'm oblivious to some things around me. But I will say, look, I'm no fan of Sunny Hostin, her viewpoints, you know, her past statements, perhaps hypocritical. But advocating for your child, I probably would do the same. I'm just going to be honest in saying that. And I think a lot of people would.
Yeah. This is not about Sunny, the TV host. This is about Sunny, the mom. And she did what any mom would do. She's going to protect her child in that particular situation. And she made the good point. She said, listen, he's not a bad kid. You know, he's a man, but, you know, you're always a kid to your parents. He's not a bad kid. He knows better. He didn't see the sign. Let's not escalate this. So I can't blame her. And I'm telling you right now, if any cop stops me, I'm like, hi, I work for Fox News. I'm leading with that.
And no side raised their voice.
I'm sorry, call me whatever, but I'm leading with that.
The police didn't raise their voice. She didn't raise her voice. I'm like, a lot of parents would raise their voice.
Yeah, no, I think it was.
I wouldn't leave
if
with
they
my
had
job.
let her go, if they had let her go, and then the body cam footage came out and saw her pleading with, like, it seems to me it's actually a better look for her that they went through with this and then let him be released with, you know, of course it's not, there's going to be no accountability beyond this, but my point is, if he had been released but the body cam footage showed that it was because she was a host that she got off, that's a terrible look for him and for her.
That's a great
So
point.
I'm saying this is a better, you know, outcome, I think,
I don't know.
for her.
He's a grown man. No.
And that.
And I can imagine going back to the dorm or back to the 4th grade classroom or wherever he's going. You don't need your mom to advocate. Just tell him you didn't see the sign. Lawyer up and get out in 15 minutes. Like, I see it differently because I don't have a son. If God had blessed me with that, I'd want him to be a man.
Yeah. Say, kids, don't run on the railroad track. That's never safe anyway. All right, guys, well, on to this.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.